You love a child, but you don't always give him what he wants.
Yeah, the thing is that you love a child, you love your parents. When you love a child, you don't always please him. Do you please him always? No. Suppose if a child longs to have, we are talking about love for the Lord.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Yeah.
But here also, our puppet's loving is also that same thing, translated into illusion. That's why we see this sort of love. You follow? When the thing from the realms of reality gets translated, you know what is the English word for mispercolates? What do you call it? Translated into illusion. When reality, aspects of reality gets translated or percolates through illusion, into illusion. So these are the manifestations of love. Because when they get translated, it, derives relative qualities, relative attributes. The attributes derive relative qualities. It's in the realm of duality. So what happens? Love also begets hatred. Anger, pleasure is anger and jealousies and all sorts of things are there. What you call opposites. You can feel and you experience that. Who feels and who experiences? He himself does that. And it is so important, so essential in order to gather the experiences, as I told you. So the futility, one has to come to the point where it's so futile to assert as we are asserting. We have got into the rut of asserting. How to get out of it? There's no way out of it. So these are the things, the experiences of opposites. Immediately comes a point, a time comes, and so it's futile. It's no good. So assertions are dropped. And that is the time when the puppet drops itself. And the puppeteer has the glorious ending of, well, I am again to myself. I won him over. Won that Frankenstein that was created by me.
Eric? Would it be then like the ego looks at this game and thinks, I'm going to become great. The end result of this game is I'm going to become great. Whereas the game itself is that I become nothing.
Yeah.
I'm
the
nothing. Ego thinks, well, I'm probably going to become God. I'm going to get great and everything. But as it turns out, I just am.
No, you see, the thing is that, Jeff, what you say is right. But what is it that your ego says, I'm great? It is true, you are great. There's no doubt about it.
Well,
because you are linked with that greatness, because your ego has percolated through the realms of reality and has established itself in this illusory form, and therefore the assertions continue. But here, your greatness is in being great, influential, can supersede somebody, press somebody, put somebody down, and rise yourself above others. That is your greatness. That's how you translate that being great. Yeah, that ego that is there. I am the only one. You see. Isn't it an ego? It's the supreme ego, you see. The I amness of him, who is totally independent and all by himself, you see. When it gets translated, these are the resultant effects of these things. Your assertions, your wanting to be great, you want to supersede others and all that sort of thing. You can't tolerate anybody else other than yourself. Why? Because he can't do it. You follow? Because there's nobody besides him. But when it comes, you see, you are so linked with him that all these traits that you manifest are translated from the realms of reality into illusion. And when they get translated, they are relative. And you get entrenched in these relative existence of yours. That's how it is.
Yeah. In other words, if there wasn't God at the heart of this, I would never even get the ideas in my head that I might become great.
No, you won't be. Because it is because of him that you feel yourself great, you feel yourself this, and you feel that and that. And when you feel great, because you are in the realm of duality, you feel small, you feel dejected. You see, because that that infinite attribute translated into realm of illusion has a dual aspect. the opposite side of it, the relative existence. Really speaking, there is
You
no...
also get the other experience of being really small, lowly, and this and that.
Because of illusion. Otherwise there is no such thing as small. When it is translated into illusion, then that infinite bliss translated here, misery and happiness. Yeah. Happiness, we talk in terms of happiness. We never talk in terms of bliss. You follow? But bliss is that transcends happiness and misery is bliss.
Without the negative side, we would never know.
But without negative side, we'll never know what bliss is, you see. So these experiences make us fed up of all these things and we give up. When we give up, he takes over and he manifests himself. And when he manifests, we are not. That's all. We were not, and we are not, and we will not be. He alone is. Yeah, what we say.
Would it be fair to say that because in reality we're God of reality, that when that translates into illusion, we all want to be God of illusion. And so everybody strives to get power and strength.
Yeah.
They're all trying to approximate that it's mine.
Yeah. And instead of approximating, not approximate, they assert that they are there.
Fight each other from the top to bottom.
Killing everyone.
Yeah, that's what it
Need a
is.
pretty big throne.
The picture you paint is of a puppeteer who decides to play solitaire and amuse himself with a puppet. And when he's done so and wants to go do something else with his hand, he finds that his hand is stuck in the
With the puppet.
and he has to go through these elaborate, divine romance in order to simply get his hand back.
Yeah, that's good. Very well put.
Just like the...
Yeah. And that can be done when the mind is annihilated of the puppet. It is that imbued, because of close association with him, that gadget called the mind, that separateness, you see. That naturally when he played the game through his imagination, separated himself from that something. That separateness had to be there. So what is that separate? What is at the basis of that separateness is the mind. The impression that here is Eruch. My love should flow to Eruch, and Eruch's love should flow back. So that separation is an impression. Mind is nothing but repository of impressions. Mind is at the root of separateness. That's how the mind is there.
If you played this game long enough, mind would realize, this mind of God would know that the hand belongs to him, but hand may just get accustomed, huh?
Hand becomes mind, you mean? Becomes...
No, not hand is that quite different. It's the glove that becomes the mind. The puppet.
It's like the ventriloquist then who gives life to the dog.
So what happens is, and it is so good that Prophet Muhammad, today is his birthday, he has given us this thought. That this imagination of God, what is it? It is so good that God imagined. It is the rod that when he imagined that here is Eruch that I want to share my love with. With this little thing that he has bestowed upon Eruch, through that is his imagination that he has bestowed. And that's why Eruch comes into being, because he's linked with infinite existence. So Eruch is there with his imagination. So his imagination, what does it do? His imagination plays a very important role in this puppet. And that imagination acts as a rod that stirs the feeling, you see. That makes us have different experiences of low and high and this and that and all that. It goes on stirring up, churning the feelings, allowing the feelings to rise, surge in us. And that's how we experience these, that and all that. In the earlier stages, they are the unwanted stirring up. And gradually the stirrings take place in a more sublime form. And that sublime form throws us into his lap. Eventually, through our imagination. as we were talking about kidding ourselves, we were here kidding ourselves, pretending ourselves. So this imagination, that concept of his, to imagine, has been a boon to us, that it stirs up our feelings. It's only through imagination we stir. He has not only imagined himself, but bestowed imagination upon us. So we imagine. And we imagine that we are this, and we imagine that I am great, and I am this, and this, and gradually all those imaginings lead to more sublime imagining. And that sublime imagining comes, a stage comes when it throws us into his lap, where we are not and he alone is. The end of imagining.
We don't imagine our feelings, we feel our feelings.
Yeah. But it's not imagining the feelings. Imagination stirs our feelings. It's the rod that stirs. It creates feelings. Had the imagination not been there, where would be the stirring? Nothing. We would be like rocks. Silence. In it is everything. It is the primal state. But unfortunately, mind would never want to harbor silence.
But the silence that is complete, nothing lacking.
Yeah, nothing lacking. That's true. But
believe that when that final moment comes, and I
yeah,
totally realize God, that it's going to be there and say, "Hey, I realize God. There's me and there's God." And
it won't be.
I guess
That's what Gary wants it to be. So, but it is not the case. Unfortunately, you won't be able to realize that you are God with your mind, because mind has to go and God has to come.
So, and I guess there really is no.
So what's the purpose?
I mean, but there's no instance of it being better to realize God than to be exactly where we are now.
That's what he is telling. That's what I have been shouting at you people every day, you see. That the purpose of this creation is not to realize. It is to love. That charm of love can only be had in this human form. While there is this opportunity, the scope that he has given, now that our form has evolved into the most perfect form with full-fledged heart, we can derive the charm of love and the purpose of creation be fulfilled. Yeah. Loving. Even angels envy us. They don't have the aspect of love. They want to become human. But they are stationed. There is a separate creation that type, you see. They are the, you may call it, they hold the offices, you see, the commands, and they are the workers there, you see. But here we have got a gadget where we can imagine, stir up our feelings, we can love, we can bestow love, return the love, and so forth. It goes on, the churning goes on. So that is the purpose. To realize what? That you are what you are. What will it culminate in what? Already that what you are, what will happen then? So what? If you realize, tomorrow say if you realize the truth, you are already that truth. What is the purpose then? It's not that to realize is not that purpose, you see. That is the goal. But the purpose is, now that the time is, now that you are in this form, love. But that love has been turned into sex. Of course, because of our ancestry, it comes. It has been from the very beginning. From the first atom, this love sharing is going on. But gradually when it develops, evolves itself, you see, it has evolved through sex and all that, and we have come to this conclusion now, that love and sex are two different things. We have come from the tail end of love is sex, as Baba says. Now we are rising above, you see, going towards divine love. So we have to leave that and go towards that.
Gotcha.
If we can get it like that, it will be so good, but we don't.
Eric,
It
seems to be a very fine line between being in the gross world and very much of a human being. In reading Baba's words that say, all we know is lust, we don't know love. Seems to be a very fine line between...
Yeah.
when for the longest time I thought, oh boy, this love is all there is. You know, that's the only thing that really matters, and that's what I should be communicating to everyone and anyone that I come in contact with. But then I realized the hard truth in those words that I don't even know what love is. All I know is lust.
That's true.
That's the only thing that I
No, but don't be so pessimistic. Lust is. Now that you know of lust is true, but it's the most refined lust. Lust has been refined through gradual processes of evolution, you see, which is now verging on throwing itself from that borderline of lust towards love. And then we get into the aspect of love. It is, what you say is right, that's true.
Is it possible to actually experience as a human being unconditional love?
Oh yes. Is it possible? Means what history is replete with this. So many, from the lives of saints and all that, they have started from imperfection and reached the heights of perfection through imperfection. It is possible, of course it is possible. That's why the purpose is there, the creation is there, because to love and be loved and be loving. But all this, when you stop your nefarious activities, all this will continue till you happen to stop your extraneous or nefarious activities. Then you really derive the beauty of love. That's how it is. But now what happens is, with that stage, what happens is gradually it's not withdrawing yourself. These impressions of desires gradually weaken out. It's our desire, our wanting to have it, craving. When they gradually fade out, then you begin to taste real love, more realistically. So all these activities are in order to bring about the result of our wanting. We want this, I must have it, I must strive for it, I must crave it, I want to go in for it, and all that. So when all that has subsided, after all the experiences that you have, then you come to a standstill. Finish. No more. I've seen all this. I have desired for it, I did get it, I did not get it, this is the result, all this is there, all this is there. But I withdraw from it.
Then what happens?
Then you begin to love.
But you
First,
still got to go on. You still
pardon?
got to go on in that world of illusion and carry on with the whole thing.
Pardon?
You've still got to carry on with it.
Yeah, of course.
In the whole world of
Carry on
illusion.
what?
You know,
Carry on what?
Carry on the whole game, even though you know it's futile.
Yeah, till such time you have to carry on. Yeah, because he has come here to give us that awareness. We are speaking now in terms of what he has said. We are repeating simply his words, the thoughts that he has put into our mind. But we haven't had the experience, otherwise we would have left it there and then. You follow what I'm saying? No? He has come to tell us, bring us that awareness. So this gradual awareness is dawning upon us. So we are at present repeating the words, repeating the thoughts. But we are still in it. But as time comes, definitely there is that time, that period comes when there's a standstill from nothing. You don't want. Now you are running after this, running after that, wanting this, wanting him, wanting her, this, that, all that. You're running after something. But when you stop, all the things that you have left behind, they will then begin to chase you. Then you will run ahead and they will be following you. Yeah, it comes, the time comes like that. Then you don't want it, you just want to run away from it, but they will follow you. That is known as the temptation. You follow. All of us go through that stage. Yeah. Then you will not want to budge from all that you have experienced. You have experienced enough, we don't want you. So no, but you have this. You have this. See, have this much food. You should eat. All this is there for you. Eat. All this comfort is there. Everything is there. These clothes are there. Everything is there. This kingdom is there for you. Enjoy this. No. Your joy is quite different. You have tasted love. You want to love them. You want to love. Then you begin to derive the taste of love and loved, being loved and loving. But till such time, all this goes on. But it's a fact. There comes a stage at that time. You are now running after these things. You will then put a halt to it. And then there comes a stage when all these things that are left by you, discarded by you, they run after you. And you run ahead of them, away from them. They follow you. They chase you. They pester you like anything. You don't want it. And they are there for you. Yeah. Then you are the supreme. It is there for you. It is meant for you. At your disposal, they are there. But then what? You are not concerned with it. You are concerned with only love, loving. You are not concerned with these wants and all that. That doesn't do them. They are there. They always remain there. Even when you are not, they will be there. They will be there for others.
But this must not develop in these young people a revulsion for life.
Of
as
course
it is now.
No.
That's, I think, what they're asking. How do we get rid of all this ugly stuff that we're talking about now so that we can love? But you have to play the game.
But play the game. I told her to play the game, but while playing the game, always keep him in the midst of the game.
But there's nothing wrong with living an ordinary life.
No, nothing wrong.
Must do it. Must
Except
do
boredom.
It. Must do it. Nothing wrong with going after goals because you go after them with love.
Yeah.
Is that not right? To play the role?
Really speaking, it has been said you have to turn your back immediately, instantaneously.
Choose now.
Yeah. Even if these tender minds and tender souls and tender hearts, whatever you call, like Jeff and all that, hear this, I don't mind it. But the fact is this. Now we have our backs on towards him. What is needed is to just face him. When we face him, all the other things will be following you and chasing you. Now you are chasing after them, so you have your back to him. When should we turn our backs? Immediately. But we can't. Instantaneously now, but we can't. So then he has enough patience in himself. It is he who has to turn his back, not me. Did you read that letter that I had written to Mehdi? You haven't read? You have connected. I had fresh at that time, Baba had just told us and all that. So it was so fresh, so it was put there in writing.
I missed something real briefly. What you were saying about turning your back on something. I didn't.
Don't speak to me while your mummy is here.
Here?
Now, what is it now that we are running after? All the worldly things, isn't it? Running after fame, music, prestige, money, well-being, our health, happiness, everything other than him. So that tantamounts to our having our backs towards him. We are running after things which he has discarded. We want to get the hold of it and possess them, have them, and be great and feel great and all that sort of thing. But no, what is needed is stop that chase after things and just stop. And then a moment, turn yourself right about turn and face him. And all the things that you were chasing, they will chase you then. You see?
As Sam was saying this morning with the blade of grass.
Yeah.
No, Rich, I
But that is a different thing. That's a reality.
it sounds to me very contradictory because you're.
Say.
How do you translate that into real terms? I mean, if you say I don't.
No,
care
it's not
about,
real term. Real
I
term.
don't care about the world.
But
I don't care about
don't. See
then
now.
what do you do?
See how you all come to the conclusions like that.
This is what I was throwing at.
I know it. We are talking in terms of the ultimate. But while we are in this world, we have to continue with what we are doing. All that needs to be said is continue living as now. Be most natural. You follow? Don't be artificial. Be most natural. You're Rosemary, very good. Nobody tries to stop you or anything of the sort. Be that. But in all your activities, in thoughts, words, speech, actions bring him into the focus. Yeah.
Basically just be loving in the world.
Yeah. But bringing him into focus means loving in the world. It all amounts to that then. There's no need to strive for loving anybody. If you have him, there's no way out but to love. Yeah.
It's safe to say that when you stop chasing after everything and trying to possess it all, then you just love it.
What?
You love it. And the question that comes up, it seems, is, if you turn your back on the world, you're not going to chase after all this stuff.
Yeah.
What do? I mean, you're still in the world.
Yes.
And I say, you just love it. You just love the thing.
That's what it is.
You just don't try to...
No, nothing of the sort. Don't hate it. You don't hate it. But it is there in its own place. It is there. Yeah. But what happens is that it doesn't remain where it is. It chases you then, you see. It pesters you. You have now craving for something other than what is needed. So you are going after that. That craving, when you stop, you see, then what happens? Those cravings have a craving to chase you, to be after you. It's like that. They don't lose the potential, but they begin to crave for you then. Now you are craving for them, then they begin to crave for you. But that doesn't mean that you have to hate them or you just keep away from that. You know the futility of it is, it's nothing. It's like smoke following you, you see, in the direction where you go. There's nothing there. You know that. Now you take it to be the soul substance, you see, that you must have it. It is there. But then you see the futility of it all. It has no meaning. It's most insignificant. Nothing. It's not even most insignificant, but it is nothing. What is then? What is it? It is loving him. To love him. To be loved by him. To be loving in the world. That is the most important thing then. Then you go in for that.
Doesn't mean stop supporting your wife and kids, though.
Of course not.
Wouldn't be very
then all the more you will be doing it.
If you're walking down the road and you see this bright red 67 Jaguar XKE,
but then it is not that easy that you will be doing it, I say it, to comfort you. But what will happen is that there will not be any wife left, there will not be any child left, nothing will be left then except him. And then who is going to support them then? Well, your conviction is so great, nature takes over. Then suppose all this.
We just can't turn
all that on which we have turned our backs, they are at your disposal.
There's no artificial turning of backs, though.
No.
Saying, I turn my back on this because I'm facing Baba now, and the heck with them. That is not.
Oh.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, but the trouble is.
It is good to clear this
home with these things,
yeah.
And then they get all,
No.
She's worried that he's going to drop out of college now.
No, I'm not worried about him so much as I'm worried about some of you all worried about your marriages.
Not the season.
Is this what you mean by thrashing something out completely?
This is what it means by killing 2 hours in the afternoon.
This is what's by thrashing each other completely.
Read it loudly. You haven't read this letter?
No, I didn't have.
Huh?
Is this
It is because as human beings, we are in search. Human beings in illusion. We are in search of truth. And when we try to debate about it, then we debate naturally from the point of illusion and our being human beings. And we debate about a theme or thing which is beyond the realms. And all that we can reach is through our limitations of mind up to the fringes of reality. We can't go beyond it. So again and again the debates continue to crop up. That's how it is. Because we can't have a grip over reality, you see. That's the thing. We have the grip over reality. What has to be done is, you go and I come. That's what he says. You have to lose yourself. Who's singing now? Kitty has come.
She didn't come to hear these talks. She came to hear some singing.
Yeah.
She wrote a book already.
She has been hearing this past 60, 80 years now.